I now give the floor to the representative of Pakistan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pakistan commends Denmark's excellent stewardship of the Council during this month. We thank Special Envoy Geir Pedersen and USG Tom Fletcher for their briefings. We appreciate and support their work and that of their teams. We have also listened carefully to Madame Juman Saif, especially her remarks about Syria moving forward in the best interest of the Syrian people, which are most pertinent. Madam President, it is right for this Council to follow closely the situation in Syria, a cradle of civilization, historic land of beautiful people. This brotherly country has unfortunately endured instability and immense suffering in recent years, compounded by internal strife and external interventions. The recent developments offer a crucial opportunity for peace, reconciliation, and reconstruction. We remain hopeful that Syria's new leadership will guide the nation towards an inclusive, stable, and prosperous future. If at all there was a right time for the international community to engage and assist with this objective, it is now. The challenges confronting Syria, political, economic, security, and humanitarian, demand a holistic and coordinated response. A Syrian-led and Syrian-owned political process based on the principles contained in Resolution 2254 and facilitated by the United Nations remains the key to sustainable peace. We welcome Syria's new interim constitution as a critical step towards restoring the rule of law. The National Dialogue Conference held last month is also a positive step. We expect that the forthcoming appointment of an interim government, legislative council, and constitutional committee would reflect Syria's diversity and foster inclusive and representative governance. We recognize the regional and international efforts such as the meetings in Aqaba, Riyadh, Amman, Paris, and Brussels that underscore global commitment to Syria's peaceful transition and reintegration into the international community. Madam President, Syria's economic distress, marked by cash shortages, energy deficits, and rising prices, exacerbates its humanitarian crisis. Economic revitalization is vital to long-term stability. UN's Transitional Action Plan, aimed at poverty reduction, refugee integration, and institutional strengthening, requires robust international support. In this regard, lifting of unilateral sanctions is imperative to facilitating reconstruction and aid efforts, while remaining vigilant against entities with known affiliation to terrorist organizations. A reassessment and drawdown of the UN sanctions regime is also warranted to ensure that essential economic and humanitarian initiatives are not hindered. The resurgence of violence, shocking violence, as has been reported, particularly along Syria's western coast, is deeply concerning. Sectarian strife threatens to undermine peaceful political transition besides exacerbating the humanitarian challenges. We urge an immediate and permanent end to all violence, protection of civilians in line with international law, and a credible, independent investigation into the recent incidents. Era of impunity must be in the past, as noted by the Special Envoy. In this regard, we welcome the establishment of an independent committee by the Syrian interim authorities and look forward to its findings. Israel's repeated and continuing incursions and airstrikes into Syrian territory, continued violations of the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement, and its declared intent for an indefinite presence and full demilitarization of southern Syria are unacceptable, constitute blatant violation of Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and undermine international law and regional stability. We echo the Special Envoy's condemnation of these illegal actions and Israeli military escalations in Syria, and reaffirm this Council's 14th March presidential statement, which upholds Syria's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity, and specifically calls on all states to respect these principles and to refrain from any action or interference that may further destabilize Syria. Israel must cease its incursions forthwith, and this Council must hold Israel to its obligations, and as also emphasized by the Special Envoy. Madam President, the agreement between Syria's interim government and the Syrian Democratic Forces to integrate all civil and military institutions marks a significant step towards national unity. Meanwhile, the persistent terrorist threat, particularly from Al-Qaeda and ISIS affiliates and the foreign terrorist fighters, remains a grave concern. The 1267 Sanctions Committee and its monitoring team must continue vigilant assessment to prevent any resurgence of terrorism. The humanitarian crisis in Syria remains dire, with over 16.5 million people in urgent need of assistance. More than 90% of Syrians live in poverty, and over half the population is food insecure. The international community must intensify its efforts to address these urgent needs while also supporting Syria's long-term recovery. Madam President, a durable peace in Syria hinges on a credible political transition, national unity and reconciliation, and inclusive governance. The international community must remain steadfast with necessary political and economic support. Pakistan stands firmly with the resilient people of Syria in the pursuit of peace and stability. I thank you.
And I thank the representative.